He's trying to get around as much networking as he can. It's kind of interesting.
Okay, guys, if you can just finish up. Sorry, David. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, I'll make sure I get that, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to Manchester's third Manchester Entrepreneur Social. Thank you for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, really quickly, Manchester Entrepreneur Social is run by myself, Daniel and Kristina. There's two sides to us, which you'll see as we do these every single month. One side is obviously who we are, the other side is how we behave. And you'll find that understanding ourselves as people, when we talk about when we get into natural flow being that state when time passes, when you're doing the stuff that naturally feels right for yourself, that's something we promote very, very, very heavily. The more you can be in flow, the more you'll be able to excel and do everything you do. So whenever we refer to ourselves, we put these up, and if you're interested to understand more about profiling, about learning why some things you like, why some things you don't like, why when that person does that, it annoys the hell out of you, it's a really good tool to get the best out of yourself. But before I start, I want to just explain where we're up to. So Entrepreneur Socials are a global movement that's happening right now. Kind of the entrepreneur movement where the entrepreneur movement meets. We currently have approximately about 50 countries around the world right now that are hosting an Entrepreneur Social every single month. The UK is incredibly fortunate. I think we have...
It's been 10.
It's now 10 now.
I think so, because Milton Keynes started, Leicester, Leeds, was Birmingham.
So every single month in the UK alone, we're having 10 of these events put on with a real sole purpose of bridging a gap between entrepreneurship and social change. There are already in Manchester right now with Georgie's group that she founded, which is the Manchester Social Entrepreneurs, a network of nearly 1,000 people. And the difference, and you've only got a switch of words, but social entrepreneurship's not new, it's been around for a long time, but generally it promotes people who come into business but from a social aspect. So they're really driven by something they want to give, by something they want to contribute or commit to, and it's the business side that they might find more difficult. The people that are already in business in the room, you'll already know that there's thousands and thousands of people that get into business purely for profit, purely for growth, and that's absolutely fine. Our aim is to kind of pull some of that back in and realize that you can be in business, you can make thousands and millions of pounds, but you can still have social impact. And so that's where the term giving businesses comes from. Create a business, do really, really well in it, and have a social impact at the same time that contributes. So currently for ourselves, we align everything that we do with the United Nations global goals. You should all see on your tables already. I think so, yeah, cool. This time it's in eligible print. Last month we had a few issues with our printer. So the UN Global Goals is 17 goals that the UN created to identify how we can create a more sustainable, better, more equal world. You can pass the back to the people just behind that. That's right. So every single month we're looking to pick one of the UN goals and find speakers and find people that have already excelled in delivering one of these whilst at the same time running established very commercially driven businesses. So this month we're going to be focusing on education, but before we do that, I think it's always really, really useful. Just with the groups that you're in at the minute, I know some people find talking within networking events a little bit more difficult, but it's a nice little way to find out who's around yourselves. So just in groups of 3 or 4, if you want to turn around, that's fine. If you want to group up, just share amongst yourselves right now who you are, where you're at the minute. More importantly, where you'd like to be at. Some of you might be in jobs that you hate, some of you might be in companies that you hate. But share where you'd like to be going. And then most importantly, just have a quick discussion with the 17 points that are on the chart. And identify 2 or 3 which mean something to yourselves. I just want to check, just first of all, is everyone okay being filmed? It's nothing that's going to be too personal, it's just purely just to put a bit of a video together. Anyone got any issues with that? Fantastic. Okay, so just share where you come from, and out of the goals, which one appealed to you the most? Thank you very much.
Learn something like that it's more we will just do this one so that's why the We've been delivering this ourselves, and that's something that that's a really good because we tried it and so at least 4 years, so we know it works. Well, yeah. Not this particular one, we tried it, it was after going on training teachers and picking up on and I just thought this is unless you actually know you already risk yourself to your situation to see whether it is and so we know they're not children and we do, so we know they're not going to do anything like that. We know very basic knowledge. Postures in not postures. And show it around when it's sexual. Remember you see, I was just fixing your mind. And we used to go in and match up the Sanskrit name to the posture so that you know what I'm trying to say. So we're familiar with that, so it's easy for us to do that. So you've got to remember when we get that something and the kids are like, oh, and I go, I'm going to Yoli, like little things like that. And we go, how many kids you know when they pick a stone, like that? She's like, oh, just don't do this, like that, you know. And so I think it's interesting We go back. I'm going to say something else as well. That's something you've seen change over the years. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, that kids can be anxious at a younger age, daddy issues, children not loving their own bodies, find that a lot. And that's some kids will take But you know what we come across from the age of the messages that whether they're positive or negative have an impact on that's where you get to that's where all that comes from because instead of trying to fix
Last 2 minutes, guys. Last 2 minutes. Start finishing up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Okay. I hope you all learned some wonderful things about people on your table. So usually there's at least 1 or 2 people around the table that would like to just share for the whole group. And what I'm really looking for is a couple of points that we're taking away. I've seen fingers pointed at David. Yeah. And so didn't have enough time. So really what I'm looking for is just a roundup of what you found from your table, and out of all the global goals, which are the ones that were coming up more for people, are some of the things that were quite who were quite passionate about. If there's anybody that would like to share? Thank you, Aaron. Someone always goes first.
What we found is that we struggled.
1 second, guys.
We struggled quite a lot with choosing from the global goals, and there's a lot of us that wanted all of them. But one thing that really shone through was education, because that education is nothing. And then obviously the poverty and hunger, and especially with like looking outwards in Manchester, and especially in this location here, homelessness is so rife and it's gone up so much, which I'm going to touch on in a bit. But yeah, so I think that has been kind of poverty, hunger, and education with all of them, basically, all of them. So yeah.
Did everyone else want to pick all of them as well?
No.
Were there any other? Did you say no?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's problem is, I think number 17 is all of them, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I went for that one, partnership with the goal.
Yeah, if you can't decide, you go for 17. It means you get to do all. Were there any people that felt really passionate about any one in particular?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
That's
we did. Number 3 we went for. We've all sort of strangely aligned, I think, in similar ways. So we've got 2 sort of massage therapists, 2 yoga teachers, and nursery/forest school. Yeah. So our thing's all about health and well-being, really, which obviously is super important, and there's a big focus on children, which is what we work with, and kind of
giving them a better
physical exercise, mental health issues, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's a more holistic approach rather than just education necessarily. It's the whole thing.
And instead of leaving it to try and fix them when they get older, we're trying to start them off with better choices rather than trying to fix bad choices later on.
It's funny, isn't it? You're born with perfect health. Well, for the most part, and at some point, somewhere along the lines, we get it wrong. I don't know if anyone's ever, if you see a child that bends down to pick something up, fascinated by this now. Like, we bend down and we pick like this, whereas a child will just drop straight to the hands and pick it up perfectly. And I've got a couple of nephews and nieces at the minute, and I'm waiting to see at what point do they start bending at the back.
Sitting on chairs at school.
Sitting on chairs.
Well, yeah, we see it all the time. Yeah. As soon as you start going to school, you're sitting on chairs, you're slouching, just goes wrong, the breathing goes wrong, start reverse breathing, all kinds of things. No breathing, so pulling in when you're breathing instead of pushing out when you're breathing. Yeah.
Excellent.
So missing most of the lung capacity and things like that.
Okay. And you don't have to be anyone from over here who's passionate about anything or anything that came up that they wish to share.
We've got a couple of marketing people on the table. So I think
you don't have an issue with how it was designed, do you?
I'm putting one into the box at the end, which is communication.
Okay.
Because we focus on whatever anybody wants to do. If the communication isn't there, it's a much harder chance of happening. It's to the point I'd say it ain't going to happen, because communication is crucial. And I know it's not the sort of necessarily communication isn't, but it can be. It's sustainable. So we're not using any data. So in a way, it's the mortar between all those blocks. It keeps the whole thing together. We discuss this sort of social. One of my clients is heavily into social responsibility. He's invested in a number of companies. Magazines that we're looking to put together. It's a social responsibility magazine. When you've got that, then you can really make that work. Because it does the education, it does a number of those are allowed to happen. You wouldn't be able to work trying to communicate. It just turns up the gas on communication.
Just out of curiosity, just by show of hands, prior to coming here tonight, who'd ever seen or heard of the United Nations goals? What's that? 20% maybe at best. And I know for facts, we only know about it because of doing this. So what I find really interesting is that, and it goes back to communication. Like when I saw this, I looked at them all and go, yeah, that made perfect sense. You can't really fault them, and no one would say you don't want these or you don't need these in society. But one of the reasons I really resonated with them. Traditionally, I come from a security background. So we deal with CCTV, fire alarms, things like that. And to begin with, I looked at that and went, whoa, I don't really do any of that. but I want to. But then you start to look at it differently and realize actually every single business that's out there can impact any single one of you. You might make widgets for a widget factory, for a production line, but what you do as a company or the product or the service that you deliver has got nothing to do with the context with which you choose to do it in. You might be fortunate and have a nursery or holistic care and you can tick these boxes really easily. But how you go about your business in general is just as important as what your business does. So that's really, really useful. Thank you for that share, David, as well. I think communication is a missing piece, and that's one of the things we got to do. This is a global view, and some of us can impact things globally. Some of us can just do things on a doorstep. It's one of the big focuses we're looking on with Manchester Entrepreneur Social, and that's definitely what we're going to be discussing next month, which is homelessness. And how do we go about dealing with things on our doorstep? If every single person deals with the things on their doorstep and goes about making their businesses as profitable and as sustainable as it can be, actually you are impacting it on a global scale. Because every global thing that ever happens has an element of grassroots things going on, just someone's managing to pull it together. So, as ever tonight, things are good. I do have a next slide. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela famously said, and I think you said it over there on this table, that it really is all about education. Give a man a fish and he can feed himself for a day, teach him how to fish and he can feed himself for a lifetime. And that's where we really wanted to come from this month, is focusing purely on education. To give you guys a little bit of a mini background, this is Roger Hamilton. Roger is the founder of Wealth Dynamics and Talent Dynamics, which is the funny squiggles you saw those earlier on. It's based on a very old principle called the I Ching, which is thousands of years old. And it's the same thing you may have seen other tools to do with profiling in the business industry. Wealth and Talent Dynamics for me changed our whole business. It changed the way we look at people. It changed the way that me and Kristina's relationship was. It's a tool to give yourself to look at yourself in one particular aspect. From that, Roger's vision for the world really is about global entrepreneur education. His view is that if you want to change the world, you've got to build an army of people who have got money as a resource, who've got people as a resource, who've got impact, who've got leverage. Businesses are what can change the world because they've got so much say these days in what they can go about and how they can do it. He's currently just created the world's first entrepreneur genius schools. The first one's being set up in New Zealand. Don't quote me on that, somewhere over there anyway. Some of the girls that are into nurseries here and into childcare, you might have heard of Green School in Bali. You ever heard of that? So Green School, obviously in the UK we have a lot more legislation, but in other countries they don't. Green School it's about as outdoors as you can get, but they have a lot nicer weather than we do. And they're pulling in some of the world's best teachers and they're able to completely change the curriculum. They're starting to see the results of that. It's taken 10 years. So now what Roger's trying to do is build schools around the world that are going to create a new wave of entrepreneurs that will just change the status quo of how things are done. And he's incredibly passionate and driven about that. We would have had tonight fabulous Michelle Clark. This is Michelle. I thought it was fitting to put her over Roger's face tonight because she's a wonderful woman, and she created and was the founder of Talent Dynamics, which is again looking at your teams and how you can deliver more from your teams. So I want to move on to why we're here tonight, which is to see Claire Fryer. Before I introduce her, there's a little video that has been made which talks about Little Adventures, which she created. So we'll share that, and then we'll welcome Claire to the stage.
Little Adventures begins with excitement and curiosity. We created Little Adventures UK, whose mission is to give children, including our own, the chance to grow up with a sense of awe and freedom as part of our everyday lives. Our fully outdoor forestry and open-air nurseries connect children back to nature, inspiring them to live a natural, active, healthy lifestyle. We create the ultimate development matters environment to give children an inspirational and magical childhood, enriching them with the skills needed for school, home and life. Children need this connection to nature, because today, children in general spend more time sitting and using mobile and computing devices, and less time actively playing. Children under the age of 5 are just not prepared and ready for school as a consequence of this, which is such a shame. On a daily basis, our children are working individually and as a team to solve problems, communicate, and listen to each other's opinions, whilst devising their own and linking them to quality learning opportunities and real-life situations. It's wonderful and rewarding to see how much more elaborate our role-play and stories are becoming, linking all our themes and activities to their natural environment. Amongst all this, it's incredible to see their physical development improve when our children are active for most of the day. They run and crawl on open ground, they climb trees, balance on logs, jump in muddy puddles, and use their fine motor skills to read dens. We are constantly on the move, no matter what. There are so many natural sources of education and knowledge on our little adventures outside in our open-air nursery settings. The outdoors offers opportunities for natural outdoor play and academic challenges that are child-centred, and provides opportunities for our children to develop their language and social skills, and understanding what these important skills look like, sound like, and feel like, whilst children are inspired by the natural environment and nature around them. Our families and our community feel they're part of something special. They're excited and proud to have their children learning and experiencing this sort of lifestyle and childcare. A unique experience for their children to be active, outdoors, happy, healthy, safe and connected to nature. And who knows where our little adventures may take us. And one day we might even produce the future Bear Grylls of the world. Now that's an exciting thought. Little Adventures UK.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm, wondering round of applause to Claire Fire. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So, first of all, welcome for making it here.
Thank you.
I believe you were stuck heavily in traffic on the way.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, but finally now there.
Awesome. So, because today's topic is education, I really thought it was fitting just to ask to begin with, because people are educated in all different formats.
Yeah.
What was your education?
My education was good. I went to just a normal school. I was a bit of a class clown. I didn't listen very often. The teacher asked me to do something and I did the complete opposite. I'd always challenge the norm of what my education should be. So I'd always sort of push them boundaries all the time. When I left school, the teacher said, thank God for that. I stayed on at sixth form just because it was a social thing and that's what my friends were doing. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in life. Then my mum one day said to me, you've got a choice, either go to university or you start and pay board. So I thought, well, so I challenged my mum a little bit more. She said, well, actually, I'll pay your rent for you. I'll give you £100 a month and you go to university or you pay board. So as a business head, it was a no-brainer really. So off I went to university. I started my university courses doing psychology and criminology and didn't have a clue really. Struggled and struggled and struggled. Felt completely out of place. But then all of a sudden I got a job working for adults with disabilities. And I loved it. I found out I was a people person. So my last year at university, I went to my mum and dad and said, can you fund me for another couple of years because I'm quitting and I'm going back to do social work and welfare studies, all because I loved working with people. So they had a bit of a heart attack and then agreed to fund me. So then I started working full-time adults with disabilities and then passed, qualified, and yeah, graduated.
Did you pass your criminology and psychology?
No, I quit on my last year. I quit, so I had 8 months to go, and went right back to the beginning. So I
What
just
did it feel like quitting?
felt good because I wasn't enjoying it, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. Somebody had pushed me in a corner and told me I needed to go to university, which I did do. It sounded good at the time. I thought I could be the next detective and change the world and help people, but actually it was all about science, which wasn't for me anymore. It wasn't what I was good at. So meeting people with disabilities and working with them and even taking them clubbing and everything, you know, made me realise there's a lot of people in the world, a lot of different people, and you can help people in a different way a lot of the time. And it just clicked for me, and I enjoyed it. So when I passed something I was passionate in, and that felt good.
Excellent. I just want to say at this point as well, some of you guys are here to see Claire, some of you are heavily interested in from social care to childcare, some are here for business reasons, some might not even know why you're here. But if you, as we're going through in about 10 minutes, we'll just take a couple of questions that might be out there. So as things are popping up, it's always a good idea to write them down so that then later on when you're asked, you're not just going to forget them. So if you've got anything you want to ask Claire, make sure you write it down, ask you in about 10 minutes time. Okay, Claire, so you did an extra 2 years at university.
Yeah.
So at what point did you go from leaving university to, I suppose, setting up your first company?
Yeah. Well, I got a job working for a care agency, and I was jealous of the director. She drove a nice car. She had diesel jeans at the time, which was a big thing. So I decided, my friends were off getting jobs who were all qualified by this time, and I was back as a fresher at university. So I was feeling a little bit older. I couldn't keep up and compete with my friends who now had a bit of money. So I went and got a job working for a care agency. Decided that actually I could do this a bit better, or you know, push my own boundaries. So I used my last part of my student loan, £4,500, and set up a business whilst I was at university. So I've done my dissertation, probably the night before it was due in, submitted that because at the same time I was also running a business, a social care business, care for children with disabilities. So it was in my last year at university doing my social work, I actually set my first business up. Ran that for 2 years and sold that one, and decided I could do something a bit bigger and a bit better. I needed a bit more cash behind me. So sold that one for a nice sum, and then set up Mosaic Care Group, which was a bit more specialised in what we could deliver. So it just meant because I had a bit more cash, I could pay a little bit more to my staff and get more quality amongst our team.
So were you, in the last years of university then, whilst doing your dissertation and finishing up, you were also running care company? Were you the primary?
Yeah, on the exact day I handed my dissertation in, I ended my dissertation in a black suit, and everybody thought I was off to a funeral, but I wasn't. I was actually off to my accountant because we had a bit of a meeting to talk about the shares and things of the business. And after my accountants, I was off then to social services because I'd just won our first contract.
That must have felt really, really good.
It felt a bit scary. I was just glad my dissertation was in.
Which one was harder, landing the contract or the dissertation?
Dissertation, yeah, because you have to sit and write, and I'm a bit of a do on the last minute, which you probably realise. So everything's living for the moment. So, you know, nobody knows what tomorrow will bring. So let's just make this moment count and not plan for tomorrow that might never come. And I've tried to change that as many times as I can. And I've had mentoring and all sorts for it. But it doesn't work. I always just live for the moment.
Anybody else relate to that by any chance? Yeah. I think someone said something recently. It's the shadow behind the light, and it'll have wonderful benefits at the same time brings with it some darkness. People won't know this, but we have tried relentlessly to get in touch with Claire over the past few weeks. She's one of the hardest people I've ever had to track down. Scarlet Pimpernel couldn't find Claire. And in the end, when we did get in contact, where have you been?
You know what? So this weekend I've been Snowdon. So I climbed Snowdon Mountain, and I'm that unorganised. I was just sitting before the table. I haven't done any exercise, and I just had my baby who's now 2. So my friend says, "Oh, we've been to up Mount Snowdon." I said, "Oh, I fancy that. Sounds good." So planned it 6 months ago. Put the date in the diary, and she messaged me. "Don't forget where we're going next week." I said, I won't. And then the night before, she Facebook messaged me, which is the best way to get me, and said, "Have you got your walking boots?" I said, "Oh no." Just jumped in the car, off I go to get my walking boots. I turned up in Wales to her house with my walking boots in the box. I said, "I'm ready."
So in the box, you just bought them?
Just bought them, yeah. She said, "Have you not worn them?" I said, "No, this is my receipt. I'm
you know. But we've done it. We've got up there and we've done it. And a lot of it is just challenging myself. I suppose that's my way of challenging myself. Is always, you know, what's my excuse anyway?
So from where you were born to ended up in sunny Northwest.
Yeah.
Was that because of university as well?
That's because of university, yeah. I think it's probably the only university that take me. I left school with some GCSEs, not great GCSEs, but some. So it was a university that took its chance on me. Took my money.
Okay, so you started Mosaic.
Yeah.
And that because you had a little more cash behind yourself.
Yeah.
By this time, you're probably what, early 20s?
Yeah. I was 21.
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was all about care home. How long? I take it you were able to carry through some of your learnings. How did you have staff when you had the company from university?
Yeah, no, we had staff, but because I sought that company, I'm very honourable. Because I sought that company, I walked away from that. So a lot of the staff were saying, I want to come with you, and you know, I want to work with you. But for me, that was being and gone. It was starting something new. So within 18 months, we were supporting over 700 people within Lancashire who need care services, whether it be children, adults, or older people. Within, I'd say, 21 months, we've just acquired another business that was struggling financially. So our staff levels went up to 320 staff. By that point, we were able to then buy our own nursing home in Leeds. So we bought a nursing home that was in administration. And again, it was all about the finding a problem and trying to fix it. We then found a nursing home in Manchester. That one didn't go so well, so that was where a few challenges came about. But we, you know, our staff, we've always been very loyal to our staff. We always look after them and try to push them to their next advantage. And I've always been quite truthful to my team. I'm always heavily involved in the business, which I think is really important. And we don't have a huge top tier, there's me, and that's it. So a lot of the decisions, well, all the decisions are my decisions. If I get it right, it's great. If I get it wrong, it's me that's going to fix it.
Okay. So one thing's really obvious from that perspective. Today's about education.
Yeah.
You're somewhere in early 20s. You've done a psychology degree, a criminology degree, employed 230 people.
Yeah.
Looking after over 700 people in social care. I'm going to assume the last time you were in nursery was when you were 2.
Yeah.
You haven't had a child yet?
No, I've got 2 children.
At this point?
Oh, no, not at that point.
At that point?
Not that.
So where does that step you from there into opening up a children's nursery?
Well, I have a little boy who's 8, and he's like a textbook child. He's not like me at all, like his dad. He's a rule, follows every single rule going. So if it doesn't tell him to turn the page over, he won't turn the page over. So when I sent him to nursery, it was easy. You know, I dropped him off, he waved goodbye, had a couple of tears, and the teacher said he was fine when I picked him up. He was also clean and dressed, he went to the toilet, he learned the toilet, everything was fine, it was textbook. When I had my second baby, it all changed. He was just like, you say to him, he's called Maxwell, you say, who are you? And they'll say, Mummy's monkey. Because he is a monkey, he's not textbook, he does not follow the rules, he is last minute Jack just like me. So when I put him in nursery, it was a disaster, it just didn't work. He was like a goldfish in a ball, and his personality was changing and he was becoming anxious and he wasn't happy. And for me, I'd go into the nursery and I'd say, put his red wellies on, should have been called Paddington Bear. Let him outside for 2 minutes and it just calms him down. He's not a social butterfly, he likes his own space and everything. And they weren't doing that. So that's where I started really struggling that. I'm expecting Maxwell at the age of 2 to conform to what we expect education to be. And for Maxwell, it doesn't work. It didn't work. So then, as a working mum, I was then struggling at work because I needed to know that he was happy. And one of my reasons of doing all this isn't for me, it's not for nice shoes or nice cars or all that. That is nice, it's for the children. I don't have a pension, so I've got to make my own money and things that way. So for me, Maxwell was struggling and Richmond I was struggling.
So is that, so when it comes down to a why then, because earlier on you were jealous of your director, you got his cars, got the diesel jeans, was it that having children that kind of broadened that horizon to maybe think, you know what, there's more out there?
Absolutely. I want my children to know that if you want something, you've got to work damn hard to get it. Nobody's going to come and hand it to you on a plate. I remember my dad coppering up you know, getting his big whiskey jar and coppering up to go take us to the amusements for £1 each. You know, I had the best childhood ever because he gave me that attention and the love, and he told me I could be the next queen if I wanted to be, you know. And for me, that's what I wanted my children to have. But I also wanted them to experience the nice things in life. There is nice cars, you can go on nice holidays, and I never wanted to feel like I know my parents felt, oh, I can't get their best trainers, I feel guilty. I didn't want to feel that guilt, but I also wanted to show them the big world out there you can go and get.
So, whilst Maxwell's at my university,
Nursery, yeah.
thank you. Just at this stage then, how big has Mosaic Group got to?
So now Mosaic Group's turning over 3.5 million. We employ around 350 staff. We have 2 nursing homes. And it runs, it's efficient, it runs itself. It's had problems, like all care companies, particularly social care these days. But it runs itself. It's got a big infrastructure team in there, but I'm still in there all the time every day, you know, making sure things are running and the value base of there. We've just taken on a property in France, 7 apartments in France to encourage people with disabilities to go on holiday. We've supported over 900 people with disabilities across the UK to go horseback riding in the Rockies, to go Las Vegas, strip clubs in Las Vegas, you know, just to live their life, because people say, well, he's got autism, he can't go to a strip club. Of course he can, you know, he can still have a shot of tequila on the side, it doesn't matter that he's in a wheelchair or something. So for me, that was encouraging people with disabilities to live their life as well and be who they wanted to be. So the Mosaic Care Group is really great. But for me, my passion is now in my little adventures.
And so that brings us nicely on there. So then, when was the day that you decided to pick Maxwell?
Yeah.
You might not have done that, you thought, oh, this is it.
Yeah, there was a real moment. I could never drop Maxwell off at nursery or pick him up at nursery. Not because of work, because I'd always pick the children up and drop them off, but because of how emotional he got and how upset he was getting all the time. It wasn't just a whinging child, he was generally upset. And this one day I said, I am going to go and pick him up. And I went to pick him up. I looked through the window thinking, oh, he'll probably be fine, he'll be running around, and you know, just like the old day. But I looked through the window, he was sat on his own, and he was sobbing, and you could see he was sobbing because his little body was shaking. And when I went in, he just fell in my arms, and I gave him a big hug, and the woman came over and said, oh, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. And I was trying to remain professional, but also I am a mum, and he's upset. So I said to her, oh, have you read Maxwell's profile I've done on him? It's like a 1-page profile, how to care for Monkey Maxwell. And she says, oh yes, well, has it been like this all day? She said, yeah, all day, but he's obviously just wanting me to ring you to get him to come home. I said, did you put his wellies on? It'll calm him down, his red wellies, like Paddington. And there was even a picture of Paddington there on this profile. And she says, oh, no, it's raining. And that was it. That was the moment. So I just thought, he's not a sugar lump. He has full waterproofs. He's not going to dissolve. Get his red wellies on and his waterproofs. I'm not even bothered about his waterproofs because he's got a spare change of clothes if he gets wet. Just walk him around the gardens and let him have some fresh air. And it was too much overstimulation for Maxwell. The senses was too much. So from that moment, I walked out of the nursery with him in my arms, and I got in the car, and I drove up to Beacon at Fell, and I met with the ranger, and I all stopped. And Maxwell was still in the car, still sobbing.
Why did you go to Beacon Fell?
Well, I knew Beacon Fell was having financial problems with council, so the ranger's being laid off at the moment. So I thought, well, that's a perfect Bear Grylls example of a male that could support me in encouraging these children to be outside. I don't know how to build a campfire, so I needed to be taught how to. You know, about how to keep children safe when they go outdoors. That was the primary concern. Was I need to teach myself so then I can teach my team. So the rangers were great. I knew they'd be laid off, so I knew they'd be looking for opportunities. So I thought it was going to be a bit of a win-win situation.
So that's just you're reskilling rangers to become
child
carers.
They're great as well, and the kids look up to them like in wonder and amazement that they can build a campfire and they can rub sticks together. And you think it just happens on TV, but they can really do it as well. So it's
like the equivalent of English Apache chiefs.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how long did it take to open that, and what sort of challenges did you go through? Because this is a whole new industry.
Yeah.
There's probably some overlap.
Yeah.
Because you're still supporting and looking after it. But what sort of challenges did you go through to go from 0 nurseries to 1?
Took 6 weeks.
That's quick.
Yeah, I needed childcare quick, so
That was a driving factor.
yeah, gotta get them in nursery. And now Maxwell will say, if you say you're going to nursery, say no. Say you're going to an adventure, I go, yay, which is really cool. So it took 6 weeks to get it all together and piece all the puzzles together, get Ofsted applications submitted, recruit our staff, upskill staff, train them, get registered with the Forestry Association and start that process going. The biggest challenge was the council. The massive challenge was the council because I went to the council and the council said, we've no money, we're running out of money, we're laying all these people off. And I went to one council and said, I'll invest £60,000 a year into your site alone just to let us put some children under these trees and run around and things, which is a public site. And plus I will also invest in the area and I'll take on 2-year ranges and everything. And they actually said to me, we'll have to come back to you. So I said, right, no problem. So 3 weeks later, they still not come back to me. And then they came back to me in the 4th week and said to me, we don't think we can do it because we're not sure what the future holds, because we're getting a new politician and we're changing politics and things. And I said to them, well, that's fine, but your pot of money isn't going to change. It's still skint, you still want money, you still need investment. So I decided to take a different route and I went to the scout camps. Telling my secrets now, if anyone wants to follow this, the scout camps are the ones. Because they love children being outdoors, they encourage it. It's all operated on volunteers. So as soon as you say you're going to invest and you're not wanting to take the land off them or get a guarantee that you're going to take that cabin off them in 5 years' time or something, they just welcome you with open arms. They've been absolutely amazing.
And I suppose they're already set up, established. You've got high wires, climbing frames.
Yeah, it was amazing. We were all there yesterday. We had children, this sounds really bad, but swimming in rivers and all sorts. We're monumentally pedalling in the shallow part. Next minute, they're on the bums, they're soaking head to toe. We're doing timber towers with bricks and collecting flat ones and seeing how high we could build them. And then to warm up, we were around the campfire with marshmallows, and it was lovely. It was really, really enjoyable. Parents pick the children up and they're filthy. They need probably 5 baths that night, but they sleep well. And they're resilient and they're confident learners and do really well. So,
before we just go on to kind of what you teach them then, how many nurseries have you got now?
We've got 3 now, we're planning another 2. The launch of the one that's literally opening within a couple of weeks is already full. So that was full within 3 weeks.
How many did it take?
That one's taken 45. And it's, families are embracing the change. Even, some of the children that we've got joining us, the families don't own a pair of wellies. They're not keen on getting outdoors, but they're seeing that actually it's becoming fashionable to allow children to be outdoors and climb trees and get mucky. So parents are really embracing it and taking it on.
And I suppose you'll have some parents that will want the child to go because they're outdoorsy parents, and you have some parents that might want to go because that's someone else is doing it. And it's cool to do that, regardless of the fact kids are still getting outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, windy. The only time we'll come indoors at the head office, we've got it on my phone, I have a weather watcher, and the only time we'll come indoors is if the tree's going to blow down or there's a honking on the way. But even then, we can get a bit of shelter and things. Even toilet outdoors, we eat outdoors around the campfire. The children have an allotment, so we grow their own vegetables and then cook their own vegetables. It's all trying to just teach children about living. The education can come, universities are listed in my law, accountancy courses, doctor's courses. It doesn't fit everybody.
So how old is the oldest nursery?
With ourselves? Yeah. It'll be now 9 weeks.
9 weeks old?
9 weeks old, yeah.
The oldest nursery?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done 5, you've done 3 in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so with regards, I wasn't ready for that. So,
a lot of the contacts came from, so because we support children with disabilities, we've done a lot of holiday groups within Mosaic anyhow. So a lot of them have been siblings or friends of friends who have children, or some of the mother and toddler groups I've went to, you know, although I'm not very good at those. So all of a sudden it's amazing what social media can do. The biggest powerful tool in business is social media. So yes, it's incredible.
And so, if you were to summarise your biggest challenges that you've kind of come across, like I said, there's other people here from business and from education backgrounds. What would they have been, and how did you go about dealing with them?
Stereotypical images all the time. So councils about what they expect we should be delivering. People, you know, everybody always says to me, "Where's your business plan?" I've never had one ever. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me, I haven't got time to sit and write it because my mind's just going overdrive with all these ideas. So I suppose definitely stereotypical image, what other people think in time. You know, if I could have 2 days and one, it'd be amazing because my first job is a mummy. You know, but I don't have any hobbies. My hobbies is my business. Everybody keeps saying go to the gym. Since climbing snowed, I probably should. But yeah, my hobby is my business. I really enjoy coming up with the ideas. And my social circle is the people I care for, my staff. You know, I get on with them and enjoy spending time.
So how do you come up with the education for the young children? Like, do you is it led by them? What do you want to do today?
Yeah.
Or
a lot of it is child-led. So we do have, obviously, we all registered with Ofsted, so it's really important that we're ticking them boxes and that the children are, of course, learning. We've got to get them ready to go into school at 5. But also we'll have a sort of headline programme, but it is child-led. So yesterday when we were out in the woods, you know, when I'm saying we're doing timber towers, it's all of a sudden, right, who can collect a flat rock, who can collect a big rock, who can collect a small rock. You know, we were collecting flowers and we had these wristbands on, running around, who can collect a green one and a yellow one. So there's a lot of different types of education. It's just right there, it's just about using imagination. But we do pay our staff very well, which means we hopefully get a good calibre of staff who want to be there as well and want to deliver. So a lot of them is listening to them ideas, and it's very much a person-centred business in terms of other people bringing ideas to the ground as well.
And did you pull, you're paying more money for staff, did you pull that because you've been burned in the past by getting what you pay for previous?
Not so much. It's just that I want to commit to them. I want to keep them. You know, it's the consistency of staff that's important. But I also want to value them. I want them to know that I'm not just sat at the top like a queen bee on my own driving a nice car. It is a case of I want them to go home and feel valued and feel like they've been rewarded for the good job that they're doing.
Okay. So we've got a couple more questions. Before we do that, I just want you all to go back into your little groups for 2 minutes. Just have a quick discussion about what we've learned from Claire so far. Maybe some bits that you've pulled out from that would mean a lot to yourself. And see as a group, you can come up with one question, what it would be, and then we can ask Claire and then finish off the discussion. So we just turn to your groups, guys. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
DJ would be interested in this kind of stuff right now with trying to teach these little kids. They're absolutely, I don't feel like myself at this listening, they're absolutely Like she's trying to like tell she is doing a similar thing, trying to teach colours by saying trying to apply green colour box finding a round shape thing, trying to achieve some colours and colours like that. Even though these kids are 10, 11, 8, they've only studied English. And so some of them might have mental disability. So you
So do you do any goals?
what happens?
Yeah, just
Valuable stuff. Running around for 10 minutes outside. Made a whole round of it. My
Okay. I hope you all learned some wonderful things. So there's always lessons to be learned from every single person we can. If we don't walk away with any lessons, then we haven't really delved deep enough to see what we can pull out. So just in your groups, is there anyone that wants to share any questions they would like to ask Claire? Any burning desires? Come up. Come on in. Yes, Claire.
We sort of had a bit of a joint discussion. We were thinking about, I think it's the Green Party that we're thinking about, should we actually be having formal education at 5? And then from there we went, because what you're saying is really inspirational. Is there some way we can integrate it into schooling? Kids are sat at a desk and it's so limiting and so controlled.
We've actually gone in to visit some schools just recently to see if we can encourage some of the schools to come out to the scout camps, and that's not Volunteer Adventures, that's something that we have said that we'll do for the scout camps because they don't have enough funds in themselves to keep these activities running. So the best thing to do is to get back into the schools, to encourage the schools to let the children access these services as well, which would be the older school children. Some schools have been really proactive with that and actually joined and got on board with that. Other schools have said it's not for them, without asking the children. What we're all looking to do, perhaps towards the October time of this year, is we're looking to open children's clubs. So we're going to encourage 6 to 11-year-olds to come and do forest sessions during school holidays. Not all children want to kick a ball or play tennis or play rugby. Some children actually don't feel very confident doing sports at school and can become a little bit isolated with that. So we're going to try and capture that and try and encourage children to join our school holiday clubs so that we can engage with them, with children as well.
And I suppose from there we would think is there a way that you can track it so you can get some evidence here to see what difference is making to those
well,
kids?
We can't, we have got a plan to track a bit of a governance KPI measure really. And that's with using some of the partner schools that we've set up. So that when our children leave our provision at 5-year-old and go into school, we're going to ask for some feedback of how Little Adventure children were in coping with risks and challenges, and did they see any differences with a child that was learning outdoors to a child that was learning in a different environment. So within the next few years, we should be able to start and get some of them stats and KPI measures through.
We bring it into the workplace.
Yeah.
So the amount of individuals that have actually signed up to do forest learning, and when we've been interviewing staff, because obviously because of the quick turnover, it's important that we've got staff with a number of qualifications behind them already. And some of the questions we were asking during the interview was, why did you put yourself forward to learn to get a forest education qualification? And a number of them, I'd like to say 99.9% of them said it was a life-changing experience, because to get that qualification, actually go away and camp out and learn all these different skills, and they said it was life-changing as adults, and it's changed their way of thinking and their way of promoting education to young children.
There's loads of evidence to say the something called biophilic design, which is making like your environment more like a natural environment, really helps productivity.
It's like Sweden. Sweden is voted one of the happiest places to live in the world, and they do outdoor education like better than anybody can ever imagine. And using some of their stats and some of their evidence, particularly when we've been doing our own research, has been second to none. It's been amazing to read.
Thank you very much. Good. Everybody else have any questions?
Sorry, just based on what you mentioned earlier with bringing it into the second stage of school, so primary school, what do you anticipate the children will, how easy do you think it will be for the children who have done Little Adventures to transition to sit down school?
Well, we are still going to be doing very much structured play in terms of when we're growing vegetables and things like that. Still got to do the key things of listening to the rules. Still going to be boundaries, just different type of boundaries. So, maybe take your toys away at a normal nursery where we're going to be saying, if you go into that water, you can only go into so high. You can't go past that tree. So there's still rules and boundaries, which is exactly the same in any environment that any person finds themselves in. So it's about teaching the children how to listen to them rules and boundaries, and then they'll be able to go on to that skill. But we're hoping the skill sets and the confidence and the resilience that they learn will just stay with them forever and a day.
Because I think it's amazing. I think everyone thinks it's just perfect, really. But it would be just incredible to be able to take that and have it throughout the whole of their school lifetime, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in schools in general. We've done a workshop only recently where there was a number of Little Adventure staff, a bit of a training workshop, and there was some teachers, and admin teachers are great as well, but there was some teachers that came along to the workshop, and they saw every obstacle that they could. Even so much so as one teacher said, well, what if it rains? And there's a saying which I love, I can't remember word for word, but it goes something like, your childhood sort of come to an end the moment you say a puddle is an obstacle, not fun. And it's true, our children see puddles and want to jump in it. And most recently, I see a puddle and I just want to jump in it. I just want to remember what shoes I've got on, and it is true that we become so stuck in this, what should be in this box of how we're meant to behave, that we forget actually it's okay to have fun and enjoy ourselves as well.
There's a really good quote on that, which I've always loved, and it's you don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. And I always remember that quote, regardless of where the play means to you, the minute everything becomes like you make it too much mess, things like that. I think so as long as you can keep that child alive in yourself, like you said, it's how to carry that forward.
I think as well, life is so short, you know, nobody knows what tomorrow or tonight or anything's going to bring. And it is, you know, we go to work every single day to put food on the table or to live our life. But actually, a lot of times we've got to have fun. We've got to enjoy. If we're not enjoying it, what's the point of doing it? And I think that's what's really important for me.
Would you say that's been driving you then more so with this business and the classic mosaic hair business?
Yeah,
it's more fun.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun. And for mosaic hair, we're so governed by the politics of everything, and you know, it's everybody wants to save an extra 20 pence. The councils want to save an extra 20 pence, and you've got an elderly lady who's dying in her bed, and I'm fighting saying we want to go in and look after her an extra 10 minutes, and they say no, there's no funding. That's what I find difficult in social care. You know, everybody goes about quality, but nobody's prepared to put their head on the line and say you can't do it for that. We need to, you know, everybody needs to muck in together. If a neighbour needs to help, that's okay. If a family member needs to help, you know, it's about working together. So there's a big divide within social care at the moment, whereas education for the children, everybody wants the best for the children. So it's like on the same page with other people.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, we've got one. Bit of advice, I think, really. First of all, like, well done on what you've done. It's like completely awesome. We sort of, the bit you said about children being overstimulated is something that really run through with us. We're yoga teachers, and we started developing training programs to deliver to nursery teachers, school teachers, so that they can bring the teachings of yoga to the children. And it's also a bit you said about social media, because we're a bit rubbish, and it was just if you had any top tips of how to actually get, you know,
on social media,
use it to
videos,
promote.
definitely videos, photos. I think what I'm learning is the most, if I put a post on and it just says, I don't know, we've done, I don't know, played with rocks today outside, nobody, everyone's like, people scan it, because I usually sat at the traffic lights in the car, going through Facebook, although they shouldn't be, but it's true, that's what we're doing. But if you put a photo on there, people engage with it, people can feel it and get it, and videos as well. And keep that message out there. Don't feel like you're going to get on anybody's nerves. We must put 10, 15 posts out a day, and don't feel like getting on people's nerves, because if they don't want to read it, they won't. They'll just flick through it. It's really easy to flick through it.
How do you get to the people you need to get to?
We've done some marketing online, so we've paid for ads. We've done some of that, and that's sort of upped it. And what I learned was, once you got to a certain number on Facebook or social media, all of a sudden people go, well, they've got 500 likes, so they must have something interesting. I like it. So it's worth investing that initial period to get those likes, even if it costs £100 just to get all them likes. And then people think, oh, I want that because they like it. It's that sort of social element that we've got again. But just in everything that you do, every email you send out, put your link to it. So people might read your email and they just press on your Facebook link all the time. You know, I do it all the time. I'll scan your email and then say, oh, I wonder what they're doing on Facebook or Twitter and things like that. And for me, I choose one or the other. So there's loads of social media platforms and you can link them all up, and not everybody says that's a benefit. But I don't want to spend all my life on social media either. So I pick one that I really enjoy. So I'm very loyal to Facebook. I'm a Facebook lover. So I focus on Facebook and I just flip feed all the other social media sites. And then I feel like I've got a bit of a life. And is it Hootsuite? Yeah. There's a site called Hootsuite, which is free. And you can, now before you go in the bathroom, glass of wine, you can program all your feeds and all your tweets and social all together. So if you go on a holiday for a month or travel in the world, whatever, you can still have all your social media active. It's dead easy to set up as well. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. So what Claire's promoting there is baths,
Wine.
wine, and Hootsuite.
And top of the world.
In that order. That's your top 10. Just do that.
Yeah, I think it is. Don't get too focused on work. You know, do it in your social time as well, and make social media fit into your life. Otherwise, it can just drive you mad. But concentrate on the one. But Facebook is great.
I think for us it's hard trying to find the people because it's not people, it's more organisations. Yes. It's we're trying to get into the nurseries and things. So
yes. LinkedIn as well. Even doing some competitions online and but definitely videos, media coverage videos and photos of other people. As soon as we start putting smiley faces for children and things, everybody's like, right.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your question. Anyone else for our last question?
I've got a few practical questions. I'm the manager of a nursery and I'm just finishing my forest school training. So it is something that I'm thinking of setting up maybe. So from like a practical point of view, how do you run your sessions, like times and full days? So I know you said
for ourselves,
with Aston,
for ourselves we're outdoors all day. So the only time we go indoors is for morning to register the children and late afternoon for the children to be collected. Other than that, we're outdoors. We eat outdoors, try outdoors, everything. So I would say don't put too much emphasis on planning it. Just go with it. You know, let the children lead on some of it. Get your teachers and your nursery staff and practitioners to have some ideas of how, you know, if the children are stuck with an idea, what and how are they going to step in? When are they going to intervene? But I wouldn't spend too much time structuring it. One of the first outdoor sessions that we've done in the forest, we took everything out with us, books, paintbrushes, everything. Nothing got used. Paintbrushes were using sticks with leaves on. You know, paint we're using mud. So just really let the children, even give the children a topic and say, right, this is our topic, and then go out and just let the children engage with it. Just encourage the staff to get involved and interact with the children.
What sort of staff have you got, like qualification-wise? Have you got forest school leaders?
Yeah, all our staff are forest school qualified. We've got 3 forest school leaders who are now qualified to teach that level as well, back down. Obviously, they've all got the level 3 qualification, childcare, safeguarding, first aid. They've all got that forest first aid as well, which is obviously crucial. It's because it's different type of accidents that can happen, you know, and falling over an acorn and acorn going wherever, and it's a totally different concept of first aid. So it is definitely a case of first aid. I can't push that one enough. And investing in that training so that staff feel confident to be able to deliver when they're outside.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I want to wrap it up with one last question, which is, I suppose, the big end question. What's your future goals then? Your future goals specifically with regards to Little Adventures in the nurseries you're building?
I think for Little Adventures, our goal is to open our 5 nurseries. That was our first primary goal. My personal goal is to get Maxwell through his nursery to the age of 5 and use him as a tool to grow and just grow and show the world and you know, localities and people that these children are our future, and we are teaching our future of what they can be and what they can achieve. And I want to have fun. I love business and I just want to enjoy it and witness the growth.
All right, well, I'm sure I speak for everyone here. That was absolutely wonderful. I hope you all enjoyed and got something from that. So please, can you give Claire a round of applause? Thank you. Awesome. So just got the last couple of minutes to wrap up, and then we will have some drinks and some chats afterwards. What I want to just finish off on that. Best fortunate for the people that are in similar industries that she can deliver a product that really adds value. But for people that are in businesses, or even for someone that's even in Claire's business, who you might have spent a lot of time purely focused on bottom line and profit, you might just be getting into business. But what I want to show you is a very quick video for something called Buy One Give One. And Buy One Give One, also known as B1G1, was created to allow businesses to be able to have a form of giving. So this little video just explains that.
Hi, I'm Masami Sato, the founder of Global Giving Initiative Buy One Give One. when I was running my own food company, we wanted to make a difference. Like every time we were selling a package of our food product, and we imagined the world of buy one give one. That what if every time business sold something, it made a difference. We realized that the world is full of problems, but if we all did a little thing every day, as business owners, we all came together and then gave back every time we sold something or we worked with our clients, what would happen? Any business actually can do this. And if you imagine like accounting firm, every time they consult their clients, what if they educated a child in need for one day? The buy one give one model is based around embedding tiny giving, but effective giving in every single thing that we do in our business. And we make that happen through our system and also the processes that we created. So when you are giving 100% of what you give actually goes to the project that we carefully select. The system allows you to basically state the business activity and then choose a project that you want to support from hundreds of carefully selected projects. Every giving cycle, let's say you want to give every week or every month, you just simply log in and then click a button stating how many of consulting sessions you provided or how many products you sold. And then system would smartly calculate all your impacts and amounts that you give. Then you complete the transaction. When you contribute through our system will amalgamate your giving along with all the other giving coming from different businesses around the world. And then on a monthly basis, we would remit to these funds 100% of it to the nominated cause with the very clear reporting and all the breakdown. How small is made possible because of the way that we break down all the projects into smallest units that you can easily give to, and then at the same time we accumulate that into a bigger chunk so that it creates actually a big impact.
So that is B1G1 or buy one give one. As a company for ourselves, we're just aligning with this now, and I'm very fortunate with working with Roger. Roger knows what's her name? Masami Ato from Poldo, which is her partner. Wonderful people, and what they're able to do is truly astronomical. So with, I just found out today, I've not got full figures, but through Roger's Entrepreneur Enterprise Institute, and Manchester Entrepreneur Social and all the socials around the world, they're currently at around 4 million impacts already. We're going to start tying in what we're doing here with local impacts that we can do. Specifically at the minute, we're looking at homelessness, which it impacts all of us, whether we know someone or whether we're actually just on the streets of Manchester and you can see it. And it's about starting to see that everyone's just people at the end of the day. And I think there's a disconnect with us who's so numb to walking past people that are homeless or walking past people that have less than ourselves. And it's starting to realize that everyone's just a person. And I think this week, is it this week we've seen Paula?
Yes,
Pauline. So Christina's making homeless packs this week, which consisted of a pair of socks, a bag of sweets.
It's just a bag of boiled sweets and a pair of socks. And Pauline's been doing it for quite a while now. And people on the streets really appreciate it. And it's not too heavy, so they're not having to carry a big bag, which is great. And it's just that time. So we wanted to mention it just in case anyone's inspired. I got 17 different packs for 20 quid. It's like just a pair of socks you can buy a pack of 7 or whatever for a fiver from B&M Bargains or whatever. So it's just the little things that we can all do that just helps to make someone's day, like literally make someone's day.
But whilst it's got nothing to do with B1G1, and people can easily sit and go, well, that doesn't solve the homeless problem. The biggest problem we've got to solve right now is being able to actually communicate with people who feel that no one communicates with them anymore. So on the 6th of July is our next event. I was going to name the speakers today, but it's not been fully confirmed. We've got some big people in Manchester who run very, very well-established businesses who are doing a lot to do with homelessness, because they look at what they do as a business, just like Claire looked at her business and realised, you know what, It's not enough for me. I want to do all this and I want to do more. So anyone that is available and is free on July the 6th, which is the first Thursday of July, come on down and we're going to start a nice open discussion along the same lines we have done today with education. So I want to finish up. A quick question, first of all. Please raise your hand if you've been in the Wonder Inn before. Oh, brilliant. So about that 40% of people. So for all of you who have never been here before, welcome to the wonderful Wonder Inn. It is very much a different environment. We chose this specifically because there's enough corporate environments kicking about the place, and the Wonder Inn with what it does in the middle of Manchester is what every city should have. They really are trying the best. It's not volunteer run, but there's a hell of a lot of volunteer time that goes into this building, and they do a lot to try and give back. So I want to say thank you to them. Thank you to Claire from Little Adventures for coming along. I'm really glad we managed to get in touch finally and you didn't get lost with Sloan. So thank you for coming out and sharing your story. Thank you to the IOD as well. They bring a massive air of professionalism. At the back there we have Lauren, who doesn't like to be named, going to, and Samaya, have I got that right? Fantastic. And because they're here as well, and to the Wonder Inn, and to Rogers Entrepreneur Institute, if you can all give everyone a round of applause, please, for being here. We are Manchester Entrepreneur Social, and I apologise for the loud noise. And I want to say thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your night. If I could ask before I play some music, there's some feedback forms on your table. We don't get to improve without feedback at all. So if you could take 2 minutes to fill one out and take your tags off.
Feel free to stay.
We're having networking afterwards and some drinks. And I would like you to answer one question that's not on there. We want to incorporate food into these events because I love the word networking. Really, it's about talking and communicating. And so we really wanted to bring food in. And it might be like a fiver to come, and it might be before or after. There's somewhere on the piece of paper you could write down whether you would or would not like food. And some of you probably sat there going, I'm starving. Some of you might have been before. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Enjoy the rest of your night. David, do you want to say something?
Just one point. I couldn't see which lady it was. The 3 ladies here. Somebody was asking about social media. If you need any help,
Oh gosh, I love it. Really love it.
12 million sessions a month on social.
We're yoga teachers, so the idea of like using this is like we're going against everything that we start, so we like it really hard.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, David. All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Everybody okay if I take these?
Gracias.